So hello and welcome to today's episode of Buddy Beta, where today I'm covering the Hattrick vs Galloway Saga. Now rather than cover each mission in an individual video, I'm covering all 5 missions in one, so let's get on to the first mission, Hattrick vs Galloway. Now check the times on screen or description to see what mission appears at what time. The first change we have in this mission is the chapter. Now originally, this entire storyline was just going to be a side mission. Now while most of the story are side missions, the first mission, Hattrick vs Galloway, is actually a main mission in the story and counts as a main mission in the final game. Now according to the game's files, this was originally going to take place in Chapter 1, not Chapter 2. Now Hattrick vs Galloway replaced the mission Comet Klepto to be the first mission of Chapter 2. Now the reasoning behind this is unknown, but it could possibly be because of photography class and multiple other missions. Missions such as Jealous Johnny, Rudy the Red-Nosed Santa, Paparazzi, Making a Mark, etc. all require the player to have a camera, otherwise the mission is rendered impossible to complete. So it's likely that this was made mandatory to avoid an influx of complaints as to why they're stuck on, say, Jealous Johnny, or why some missions might just outright fail instantly, you know, like if you started Carnival Day without any flowers. So let's get onto the cutscene. Now while the cutscene was not changed at all, we can see Mr. Hattrick's beta model, well, winter beta model should I say. That's if we use mods to force the season to winter and start the mission up. I believe this is the only cutscene where Hattrick appears anyway, so this is the only way we can see the unused winter appearance. Now onto the main mission as a whole. Now much like the final game, we can overhear Hattrick and Crabblesnitch having a chat. Now while these are used, not many people do hear them because the conversations often cut short. So here's some rarely heard lines.
I tell you, he's a drunk.
These are very serious allegations, Mr. Hattrick.
You'll see. He won't get away with it this time. Those bottles are around here somewhere.
I hope you're wrong for the sake of Bulworth. We are getting nowhere, Mr. Hattrick.
They are here somewhere. He thinks he's clever, but not clever enough.
My patience is wearing thin. I don't like intruding in the private lives of my staff.
Of course. And normally I would never interfere, but we must think of the children.
Now this is where the mission does change a lot, because Galloway himself would have given Jimmy a bottle, and whilst drunk he would have told Jimmy to take the bottle to Ms. Phillips and then to meet him by his classroom. Now this isn't the entire mission, far from it. But there were a few more in-game scenes as opposed to just giving Ms. Phillips the bottles and then the mission ends.
Bring this to Miss Phillips, then come meet me by my classroom.
Alright, sir.
This one's 25 years old. Please bring it to safety.
I'll do my best, sir. Is that it?
There's one more. A bottle of fine port. It's in the trophy case.
Thanks, Jimmy.
You're welcome, Miss.
You are quite useful, aren't you?
Yes, Miss. I try my best.
I'd offer you a sip, but it's probably not a good idea.
If you were close to Dr. Crabblesnitch or Mr. Hattrick at any point while finding the bottles, they would eventually start to sniff out the bottles themselves. I believe this is still used in the final game, but not many people hear this because by the time they've picked up all 3 bottles, well, Hattrick and Galloway are barely outside the office, so...
What's that?
What's what?
There's something fishy here.
I don't smell anything. Come on.
I'm sure he's around here somewhere. Just imagine, drinking in his classroom.
You better not have led me on a wild goose chase, Hattrick. That is completely unacceptable, if what you're saying is true.
Also, another very small change here is, in the final mission, when you go to the cafeteria, Edna says, "You, that's disgusting." Now, the reason for this is actually because this Edna quote was actually in the big game, not here, so I don't think the cafeteria originally was supposed to be visited in this mission. And if you loitered around Mr. Galloway or Miss Phillips, they would start to say the following.
James, you have to get that bottle to Miss Phillips. What are you doing back here? James, please don't mess around. I need you to help me, James.
Can I help you, Jimmy? What's going on, Jimmy? Did you forget something?
And while delivering the bottles, it's heavily implied that you would have to avoid any authority figures, such as prefects, alongside Hattrick and Dr. Crabblesnitch themselves. And to cut away slightly, this could be the reason for why Jimmy can actually pick up bottles in free mode. Because in free mode, there's absolutely no use to picking up bottles at all, you know, like Jimmy can't throw them, he can't smack people over the head with them, all he can do is just pick them up and drop them. So having Mr. Galloway give Jimmy the bottles actually makes perfect sense to have some use for the bottles in a mission at least. And this could also be why some prefects actually have dialogue for spotting Jimmy with a bottle. Although granted, in the game's files these are specifically used just for this mission, so I'm unsure however.
Hey, come here with that! Don't you be sneaking away over there! I hope that's not what I think it is!
Where do you think you're going? You! Get back here with that bottle!
Hold it right there! What are you carrying? What's that in your hand? Why do I smell alcohol?
You! With the bottle!
Hey, stop right there! Get over here! What's that you have there?
Get that kid! That child had a bottle! He's trying to hide the evidence!
Psst! Lose the prefects first.
And there's also a really unique dialogue for getting busted, possibly implying a really unique mission failed screen.
Galloway's been recruiting students, I see. Well, we've got him now. What have we here, Hopkins?
Alcohol? Where did you get this? Hitting the sauce, are we? Ooh, Dr. Crabblesnitch is gonna love this.
Our young friend here has been helping Mr. Galloway. Galloway is clearly a bad influence. Just look at this young man.
What are you doing with this, huh? And why do you have booze? I don't believe you're old enough for that.
I got you, you alcoholic miscreant! Underage drinking? Oh, you're in big trouble now! A drunk? I'm not surprised!
Mr. Galloway would then give you another bottle to find. However, rather than tell you where it is, he seemingly has no clue. All that's known is that this is at the other side of the school, and this could be the one from the girls' bathroom. Now around this time, however, Mr. Galloway becomes really drunk and starts shouting all kinds of gibberish.
I'll be waiting for you on the other side of the school with the next bottle. Meet me on the second floor over by the chemistry room for the third bottle. It's not here. Now where did I put that last bottle? Hopkins, young squire. Good to see you. Where are we going? You know where you can stick it, Hattrick? I'll tell you where you can stick it. The best laid plans of mice and men gang off to Gly. Especially at Bulworth! Maybe I should just join the army. It wouldn't be any worse than this dump. Moby, you... Where are you, big white tub of whale blubber? River Run, past Even Adams. From swerve of shore to bend of bay to... Yeah. Bring us by a commodious weakness of recirculation back to Howth Castle and environs. I think.
Also, if you heard that then, Mr. Galloway said the chemistry class is on the second floor, even though it's on the first floor. Now this is actually because of the beta layout of Bulworth Academy, where the chemistry class was actually on the second floor. So this sort of gives an idea to when this mission was first created, at some point when the academy did have 3 floors. And weirdly, the audio files ended Jimmy simply stating, "That's all of them."
Here they are. I think that's all of them.
Which does seem really abrupt. However, the audio files from Jimmy and Miss Phillips from around quote number 23 do seem to fit the ending much better.
Probably not, Ms. This is the last one, by the way.
Very good. Best be off to class then, and thanks.
So that's Hattrick vs Galloway done. Let's get on to the next mission, Glass House. Now initially, this mission took place in Chapter 2 instead of Chapter 3. Now this was most likely done as the first mission in the Hattrick vs Galloway saga started in Chapter 1 initially. And this mission thankfully was not changed too much, but there are still some changes to be had here, even if they are very small. The first and arguably only change to the mission structure is that Jimmy might have had to travel to Hattrick's house instead of skitching onto Hattrick's car, because the only lines spoken from Jimmy in this mission imply he got there just as Hattrick got home from work.
Figures it'd be locked. Here comes Hattrick.
Now the main mission itself remained the same, with Jimmy having to smash up his yard as much as he possibly can. But there was a very minor HUD change, as the game files simply state there was something called the Destructometer, which was replaced by the simple HUD icon of the smashed window. Now before I play the rest of Mr. Hattrick's quotes, some people believe that originally Jimmy was going to break into Hattrick's house, as his house is actually very strange, because if you use a BMX glitch or mods to get high up in the air, you can actually land inside the house. And this is the only interior in the entire game which has no loading zone to enter. It's a bit more like the newer Rockstar games, where you can just enter and exit a building without loading. Anyway, because of this, some people believe that Jimmy was either going to break into and destroy Hattrick's house, while others believe that Buddy might have had the idea for a no loading build first. But sadly there is no evidence to support either of these theories. The only evidence we do sort of have is how the house is actually strangely solid on the inside, almost as if there were ideas, but truth be told I just think this was done so Hattrick can walk around his house and try to spot Jimmy in this mission, as his house is a bit on the lower quality side of things, and it's very simple, so it does sort of make more sense for Hattrick just to like, say walk from the left side of his house to the right, and the player would have to avoid him. So I don't think that there was ever any plans for Jimmy to go and burgle his house or smash it up or whatever, so yeah. Now I'm not sure if Mr. Hattrick's voice lines for this mission were changed or not, but here's all of his quotes.
What on God's green earth is going on out there? You little punks! I'm going to call the cops on you, whoever you are. They're in my yard, destroying everything! Catch them! This is an outrage! Someone is going to pay for this! I have done nothing to deserve this! You better hope I don't catch you, whoever you are! Are you stooges incompetent? Why haven't you caught him yet? Hurry up and catch the little beggar! Why am I paying taxes for buffoons like you? You! What are you doing in my yard? You! What is the meaning of this? Oh, it's you, Hopkins! I'll have you ruined for this!
Now while not a beta part of the mission itself, there is a glitch in the mission which can let the player skip past 2 AM and witness an unused time cycle. However, this will only work on the PS2 version. If you run outside the yard and let yourself get busted, the game will not respawn Jimmy. The timing for this mission is quite precise, like you have to be busted on the mission pass screen, you cannot get busted afterwards otherwise this glitch will not work. But yeah, if you do this correctly, Jimmy will just not respawn and instead you'll be stuck on the floor. But you can skip past 2 AM and see the unused loading times from 2 AM to 8 AM. This is actually the only way in the game to get past 2 AM. So let's get on to the third mission, which is Cheating Time, which is actually a bit strange because for a weird reason Cheating Time was originally the third mission in the Hattrick vs Galloway Saga, and would have taken place in Chapter 3, not Chapter 5. And as we know, Cheating Time is actually the ending of the Hattrick vs Galloway storyline, when Mr. Hattrick gets fired for giving test answers out. Though this is a weird change to have, especially as Chapter 3 is halfway through the main game, so this was most likely moved to the last mission in the storyline because of it making more sense and not colliding with math class in Scholarship Edition. Anyway, first of all, this mission would have taken place in town rather than the school.
I think he meets up with them downtown. Maybe you can find him there. Jimmy, here comes Hattrick. I'll be waiting here for your return.
Mr. Galloway's line of "Here comes Hattrick, I'll be waiting for you here" seems to imply that we would have had to follow Hattrick, a bit like in Jealous Johnny where we had to follow Gordon Bowler. And secondly, it seems like Mr. Hattrick himself would be giving the answers to students instead of Justin. This was probably changed to Justin because it seems a bit unrealistic, possibly even for bully standards, for a teacher to go around selling test answers. So getting a preppy to do so makes more sense as they're capitalist. Now the first group Jimmy would find would be Vance and the Greasers. Now this is much like the final game where Vance is just waiting to make a deal. Now it's here we also learn that Mr. Hattrick is 48 years old at the time of bully, and if we take that into account for 2019 he would be about 61 years old.
Look! Old Hattrick's here!
I'm not old. I'm 4 times 12 years old.
That's,
I see. You really need help to pass the class. The price just went up.
I don't know. Alright, I'll pay. You drive a hard bargain.
You don't deserve any better. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some other students to tutor.
Now after this, Mr. Hattrick goes off to sell more tests, this time to Mandy and Casey, much like the final game again, and this entire interaction went down differently. Weirdly though, there's a single line for Bo Jackson, where he's just waiting for the test answers. But he's only got a single line here, so there probably were more lines for Bo cut, or perhaps he was with Mandy and Casey, but given how his quote comes after this scene, it makes me sort of think that he had a larger role in this mission initially.
There he is!
Hello, Mandy. Glad to see you're taking such a keen interest in math.
Thank you, Mr. Hattrick.
You have the tests, sir?
Of course, I trust you have my fee.
Well, I could only get half.
That's okay. Mandy paid the other half earlier.
She did?
Yeah, I knew you guys didn't have the money. And math is hard.
See you in class.
Don't worry, he'll be here soon, I'm sure.
I sure hope he shows up. I need to get my grade up. Where is he? He promised he'd bring them tonight.
Now Mr. Hattrick would visit Bucky and Cornelius after this, and it's revealed that he doesn't always charge students money for the tests, but rather physical labour. And much like Bo, Fatty has a similar quote for just waiting, and Bucky as well actually, so I think these are just most of the idle quotes, even if Fatty and Bo didn't even appear in these missions.
Hello, Bucky. Good to see you.
Hello, sir.
I'm surprised you need these tests.
Oh, I don't. No, really, it's just that since everyone else is doing it, we need to do it as well, or we'll be on the wrong side of the bell curve.
Yes, it is working out that way, isn't it? Soon everyone will need these if they want to pass.
You must make quite a profit.
Oh no, this is not about money. I just want everyone to get into good universities. But I have to go. Oh, and I expect you to have finished cleaning my garage by tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I hope he shows up soon. I have a garage to clean.
Why do we need these tests? I just copy my work from you guys.
I hope nobody sees us doing this. Our intellectual credibility is at stake.
And now for the U-turn of the mission, it seems like we would have to visit Hattrick's house, as Justin arrives and Hattrick invites him in for a cup of tea, and for some reason Tad Spencer is also here. Now this is what should have gotten Hattrick fired in my opinion, even with context this is dodgy as hell. Now going back to what I said earlier about this mission taking place all over town, I actually think that meeting the Greasers would have taken place in New Coventry, the Nerds probably would have taken place outside the comic book store, and obviously Hattrick's house is in Old Board Vale, which I do think makes a bit more sense like that, as opposed to just say the gym, the auto shop, and then that kind of stuff.
There you are, sir.
Yes, I am.
I've got Daddy's checkbook with me.
Very good. Well, come in. You can have a cup of tea while you and I double-check your spelling.
Top dollars for top grades. Makes sense to me.
I agree completely.
Indeed, but since we're good friends, I'll only charge you a small fee to look at the cheat sheet.
Now here is where we would take our final photo, before running back to Galloway, who's more than happy about Jimmy's pictures.
I have the pictures and a copy of the test, sir. Seems Hattrick's selling tests to almost everyone.
Really? I'll take that pompous down a notch.
As he so richly deserves.
Richly doesn't begin to describe it.
Now if we didn't get any photos, or if we got too close to Hattrick, we would have gotten the following dialogue from Hattrick and Galloway.
Well, you didn't get any pictures, Jimmy? Ugh.
Hey! What are you doing there? You looking for math help too, son? Don't skulk around, kid. Come over here.
And after this is where Mr. Hattrick gets fired, which I do believe is largely the same as it is in the final game.
You know, he drinks on school grounds. Think of the children, Dr. Crabblesnitch.
Drinking? I will terminate the employment contract of any staff member found corrupting children. Morality is the most important lesson we can teach the youth.
Is that so? Then you might want to look at these.
What's this?
It's that fat, evil hypocrite selling test answers to rich kids. Fire him!
What? You took pictures?
And to think I trusted you, Hattrick? You're fired.
But
Bye-bye, fatty.
And as for you, Galloway, there better not be anything to that drinking business.
Now this entire mission was seemingly overhauled very late into Buddy's development, as all of Justin's quotes for when he meets the various cliques are all next, alongside Casey's voice actor having to re-record 2 lines.
Greetings! Did you chaps bring the money? Do you have my cash? You guys looking for something? Thanks for the cash, chaps. Money! Money! See you at midterms. Hopkins, that bastard's trying to rat on us. What are you looking at, peon?
Yeah. Do you have the test? Yeah. Did you bring the goods?
And this concludes cheating time, but our Hattrick vs Galloway storyline isn't over yet, as we've got Galloway Away coming up next. For another very, very strange reason, the game's files state that Galloway Away was the 3rd mission in the saga, as opposed to Here's to You, Miss Phillips. Now this one definitely seems to imply a massive storyline change, because as we know, in the final game, Hattrick gets Galloway incarcerated at Happy Vaults during Miss Phillips and Galloway's date, which happened to be before this mission. So to me at least, this says the mission storyline was changed, but still had something to do with Mr. Hattrick getting Galloway incarcerated off screen, but obviously this was not on the date. Now, I think this could be Hattrick getting revenge on Galloway for getting him sacked in the previous mission, which actually does make a bit of sense and ties in rather nicely and makes Hattrick a fantastic antagonist. But given how there's no date for him to ruin, I feel like there's a completely different intro scene to this mission, alongside an entirely different reason for Hattrick getting Galloway incarcerated. So I don't really know what to say about this part, but that's just my thoughts on it. And being available in Chapter 3 implies that the asylum was going to be explorable in Chapter 3 initially instead of Chapter 4. Now another thing to note is Theo the Orderly does have a winter appearance, but that does go unused, but it still does exist in the final game, and can only be seen by modding or glitching. But having the asylum explorable in winter, we could have seen this model. Now the first objective here was just the same as always, to meet Miss Phillips outside the asylum, but for some strange reason Jerry the Townie was going to make an appearance in here, possibly with some other townies, where he says something about Jimmy being in the wrong part of town. There's also a lot of deleted audio files here from Jerry, possibly implying one of 2 things: the townies hung out near the asylum initially, or they all had asylum appearances. Both are possible given that Otto, Henry and Leon do have asylum costumes. Personally, I lean more towards the townies hanging out the asylum theory, as Jerry's quotes in this mission aren't as crazy as the inmates are.
Jimmy, I'm glad you made it. Please hurry and try to talk some sense into him. I'll be waiting for him at the asylum gates.
Don't worry, miss.
Thank you so much.
Look who it is! Some Bullworth drone hanging out in the wrong part of town!
And who are you supposed to be? The trolls under the bridge?
Don't try to be tough and insult us, kid!
What? You prefer to be called pixies?
Well, we run this part of town, you won't soon forget it! Get 'em!
Now going up to the gate would still trigger Theo's quotes about visiting time being over, but we get 2 additional lines which give context as to why Jimmy's not allowed to visit.
I'm sorry. Visiting time is over.
Why?
It's the patient's outside time. Get them some fresh air and all that. Now, run along.
Now upon gaining access to the asylum, Fenwick would creep Jimmy out by talking about the Watcher among other asylum inmates who also approached Jimmy. Ramirez, one of the townsfolk, is also an asylum inmate, when he isn't in the final game.
A visitor? From the sky! Are you here to save us from the Watcher?
What are you talking about?
The Watcher! He watches everything we do, waiting for just the right moment. Please save us!
Get away from me!
Ah!
Looks like these guys scare pretty easy.
Oh, a newcomer. How exciting. Did I tell you my theory about the Florida election? I'll just follow you around because I'm crazy.
What are you doing?
This is really interesting. I think I'll just follow you for a while. Let's be friends, but don't anger the Watcher.
Maybe you can protect me from the Watcher. Hey, wanna buy some Nigerian yellow cake? Are you off to the Bladen races?
Now this actually ties into the Happy Vaults video I made last year, as in the files for Happy Vaults audio there's a lot of townsfolk who were seemingly inmates, and also completely deleted characters, who were also going to be in the asylum. One of the other townsfolk that was going to be here was Miss Rushinsky, so there's definitely some deleted asylum appearances that were originally planned. They were possibly going to make an appearance in this mission and find Johnny Vincent. Now after this, I think the next part does contain an alternate outcome, where Jimmy would force open the asylum gates by destroying the Watcher's statue power source again. Now this is still used in the final game, but rather than just the statue catching fire, it seems that the entire gate would open and the asylum inmates would run out. And I believe this was going to be the distraction part again, where Jimmy could just sneak into the asylum without being detected. And I also don't know why, but among these audio files there's one of Jimmy saying about how something's blocked among all the chaos of the Watcher statue. But either way, the outcome was going to be a lot more chaotic.
What's going on over there? I should probably break that up.
What's that commotion? Oh, man, I better check that out.
Whoa! Who opened the gate? I have a situation by the gate. I need help.
On my way. Why don't you just close the gate, idiot?
I can't. Something's messed up.
Maybe the statue overloaded it again. Check the box around the side.
Man, the last thing we need is some sort of Watcher stampede again.
Bah! It's blocked.
The Watcher! The Watcher has awoken!
Flee! Flee to save your souls!
Ah! Ah!
Ah! Ah!
Now at this point, all the inmates would seemingly begin a massive breakout, giving Jimmy time to enter the asylum, but it seems like this would have been a timed portion of the mission as the orderlies ramped up the escaped patients again.
What just happened?
Alarm! Alarm! They're breaking out!
Ha! That was pretty cool!
Get back in there! Alright, back to your rooms! Get going! Go! Go! Go!
Go on! Get in there! Move along! Get moving!
And it's here where Jimmy would find Mr. Galloway again, and it seems we would have another Finding Johnny Vincent-esque mission, unlike the final game. Well, sort of. You see, Mr. Galloway has quotes about not being detected, and a bit of an extended version of him leaving the asylum, as opposed to just like, you know, the cutscene plays, black screen, Hattrick's out. I mean, not Hattrick, Galloway's out.
Hang on, hang on. You'll be in trouble if they see you. I'll go check myself out. You wait here until everything is clear.
Alright, sir. Thank you.
Excuse me, I think I am done here. I would like to check myself out.
Very well, sir. Please follow me to the front desk.
Lead on!
Now, possibly this occurred after the initial cutscene, but it was scrapped because of how short this objective is. Now, I think after Galloway checked himself out, Jimmy had to sneak out of the asylum, because the orderlies do also have a fair few quotes talking rather nasty about some of the patients, also backed up by an unused text string which reads, "Find a way back out of the asylum."
That should be the last of them.
Actually, we're missing a few, but who'll ever know?
True. No one will care.
Jimmy, I really appreciate this. Thank you.
Me too. I am so happy to have my galley bear back.
Galley bear? Looks like they already left.
And so that concludes Galloway Away. And now we've got one more mission, which is a bit of a stranger ending to the saga, which is Here's to You, Miss Phillips, which would have taken place in Chapter 4. Now many people who played Here's to You, Miss Phillips always found it weird why the greasers were out to get you in this mission, even though this mission is unlocked in Chapter 4 and the greasers are on good terms with you. Well, that's actually because this mission had Jimmy racing against Peanut to get Miss Phillips' items. Now also it seems that Jimmy was only going to get 2 items, which was the pearl necklace and a perfume, as there's no audio files for collecting Miss Phillips' dress. Now I believe that when you're on your way to get her first item is when the Peanut objectives would trigger.
I'm going to be you, ass clown. Miss Phillips is going to forget about you. What's your problem? Better get back quick.
You initially had to race Peanut to get the items, and even after picking some items up, Peanut had the ability to steal them from you, and you had to get them back from him before he reached Miss Phillips.
Smells good. A pearl necklace for Miss Phillips. Haha, my! I love this smell. Got it. I'll get you next time, Jimmy. You just got lucky. Bite me. Ooh, I'm really scared. Sure thing, Peanut.
There are still a load of unused text strings which reference this. These include, you drop the gift, get the gift back from Peanut, Peanut got the gift, get it from him before he reaches Miss Phillips, Peanut beat you to Miss Phillips with the gift, Peanut has dropped the gift, retrieve it and get it to Miss Phillips, and get the gift before Peanut gets to it. Now when returning these items to Miss Phillips, there would be a rather small scene.
I need my perfume. I just don't feel right without it.
Glad I could help.
There's the pearl necklace. I still remember the first one I got.
You'll have to tell me about that one day.
Thanks, Jimmy. You really are a dear. Thanks, Jimmy. You're great, Jimmy. Thanks.
Oh, you're so welcome, Miss Phillips. I hate you, Jimmy. How come you're so damn quick? Where'd you come from?
And Miss Phillips would say lines if you stood near her without her stuff.
Oh, you return empty-handed, Jimmy. What are you doing back so soon? Are you trying to tease me?
And our final change for this mission is the alternate mission failed screen if Peanut delivered the items before Jimmy did, or Jimmy failed to return them.
Haha, Jimmy. She'll think you're a complete failure. Who's the teacher's pet now? She loves me, Jimmy. Get it through your head. She's gonna laugh at you.
Thank you, Peanut. I guess I shouldn't have relied on that Jimmy. Oh, thank you. I guess Jimmy couldn't be bothered.
And that's really all the changes to the Hattrick vs Galloway saga there is. To me it seems a bit weird how Galloway Away and Cheating Time happened before his to Miss Phillips, which is actually a really strange way to end the story. Though in some ways it does make more sense. Like Mr. Hattrick's gone, and Mr. Galloway and Miss Phillips live happily ever after. But I feel the Hattrick getting fired ending is much more fitting, for all the trouble he caused them both. So that's really it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed and all that, and I hope to see you all at the next one.